Welcome back to my math channel. Today we are looking at part 3 of synthetic division. Let's take a look. So what we have here is 2x to the fourth plus 3x to the third minus 4x squared plus x minus 5. And this is divided by 2x plus 1. Again, the procedure remains the same. We're going to be using the coefficients of these terms, and we're making sure that we're seeing descending power in the degree and making sure that everything is actually there. For example, we're just going to draw this here, and we're going to put the coefficients here. So the coefficients of the fourth power, as you could see, is 2. The coefficient of the third power here is actually 3. The coefficient of the second power is actually, this is the second power, the coefficient is actually -4. The coefficient of the first power is 1 right here, and the constant is -5. Again, we are using 2x plus 1, which is kind of a little bit different. So 2x plus 1, if you solve for x, by equating this to 0, subtract 1 from both sides. So 2x is equal to -1. You divide by 2. So x is equal to -1/2. Now, because x is equal to -1/2, it's going to be one of those special cases. So whenever we see our divisor look like this, then there is something unique that we have to do at the end. We're going to see that. Let's get into it. So we have -1/2 right here. What we're going to do is we're going to actually bring down our 2 here, and then we start the process. -1/2 times 2 will give you -1, and so we're going to add 3 plus -1, and that is going to give us +2. Then we're going to have -1/2 times 2, and that is going to give us -1. So -1 comes here. And then we're going to add -4 and -1. And that is definitely going to give us -5. Again, we're going to have -1/2 times -5. Remember, negative times negative is a positive. So this is going to give us +5/2, right? And then we're going to add this. So if you should add 1 plus 5/2 or 5/2, we're going to have 7/2 or 3.5. Okay, so definitely this is actually 7/2. Okay, we're going to multiply -1/2 times 7/2. And when we multiply this, what we're actually going to get is actually we're going to get negative, and it's going to be 7/4, right? When we multiply that. All right. So there it is. And then we add this, right? So if you're adding this, what you're actually going to get, though, when you add this is you're going to get -27/4. Okay. So when you add -5 plus -7/4, you're going to get this. So basically, we are actually almost at the end right there, where now we're just going to put together our thing to see what we have right there. Now, let's take a look at what we have. So these are my coefficients right here, right? These are my coefficients right here. This is my remainder. Right? So the remainder is -27/4. So we're going to have that. But what's going to happen is that our coefficients would have to be divided by 2. We're going to have to divide the coefficient by this number here all the time. Okay, so we're going to divide it by 2. So when we divide the 2 by 2, we get 1. When you divide this 2 by 2, you get 1. When you divide this -5 by 2, you get -5/2. And when you divide 7/2 by 2, you're going to end up with 7/4, right? So that's what we have. And these are now the coefficients. So remember that we were dividing the fourth power, which means this is going to give us 1x. I'm just going to write 1x to the third, right? Plus, you could say 1x squared minus 5/2 x. This is our constant plus 7/4. As you could see, we have a remainder of minus, so 27 over 4, and this is all over the divisor. Remember that the divisor was 2x plus 1. So this is our answer. All right. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.